Hi, I'm Erik Voss, and as we dig up more and more clues about Avengers Endgame, one Thanos survivor who carries a big mystery with him is this little trash panda, Rocket Raccoon. And don't tell him I called him a raccoon, he hates that. And it's because his exact anatomy, his origin, his creator remain unknown. James Gunn hinted way back that a major Easter egg regarding Rocket's creator is hidden somewhere in Volume 2, but no one has officially found it. Recently, someone on Reddit, maybe someone really smart enough, started to dig into this question. So I'm gonna explain what new things we've learned and some new details about Rocket discovered from Guardians Volume 2 and from Avengers Endgame footage. And spoiler warning in case I get into that. Okay, let's rewind the clock to November 2017, when Guardians Volumes 1 and 2 director James Gunn tweeted, back before the hordes of idiots drove him off Twitter, that the truth about Rocket's creator was hidden somewhere in Volume 2. Ever since then, the hunt was on. Actually, much of the focus was on the still missing Easter egg in Volume 1. We actually made a video about it. James Gunn tweeted us some nice things, but still wrong. In the past, he's actually said that YouTuber MT, a really sharp fella, if I say so myself, has gotten closest. But this Rocket mystery forces us to look at some different evidence. The first Guardians movie gave us a few details hinting at Rocket's origin. Remember, as the Guardians were processed on Xandar, the screen said that his home world was Half-World, which is Rocket's origin in the Marvel Comics. Half-World is an abandoned colony where mentally ill animal companions are genetically manipulated to be more human-like. Rocket was one of these, and he's given human intelligence and served as a security officer. The screen in that Xandar scene also lists anatomical features: cybernetic skeletal structure, enhanced phalange and metacarpal bones, those are the hands and feet, genetically augmented cerebral cortex, and later in the kiln, Quill sees the surgical scars of Rocket's cybernetic skeleton on his back. Later, Rocket growls about his past, saying this:
"Well, I didn't ask to get made. I didn't ask to be torn apart and put back together over and over and turned into some little monster."
And right after this, another possible clue shows up in the collector's vault on Nowhere. Rocket stood beside a table with an animal spine that looks small enough to belong to a raccoon. Some believe that this could mean the collector could have been Rocket's creator. Rocket could have been an escaped experiment, one of the many prized possessions of the collector. And that spine could have been Rocket's old spine before it was replaced with a cybernetic one. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, James Gunn himself debunked this theory. Yeah, unless his memory was wiped or something, there's no way Rocket wouldn't immediately attack this old Dr. Frankenstein. And that brings us to Volume 2, which upon rewatching it does contain some interesting nods to Rocket's backstory. When they were escaping the Sovereign Fleet, Rocket bickers with Quill and says this:
"I was cybernetically engineered to pilot a spacecraft."
And later, Rocket argues with Yondu and this comes up:
"Just a little bit of love reminds you how big and empty that hole inside you actually is."
I said shut up.
I know them scientists what made you never gave a rat's ass about you.
I'm serious, dude.
This actually echoes another rant in Volume 2 from a character who was weaponized with cybernetic implants, Nebula. She rages that Thanos severed parts of her body and replaced them with parts every time Gamora beat her in a sparring match. So could Rocket be another long-lost child of Thanos? In Infinity War, Rocket did seem to want to go nowhere near Thanos until he could help Thor get his hands on a weapon to kill the Mad Titan. But you would think Rocket would have said something about his history with Thanos. Or maybe he's just keeping his backstory close to the chest. But think about it. For this theory to be true, it would have required some collaboration between James Gunn and the filmmakers of the Guardians movies and the filmmakers behind Infinity War and Endgame. It's two separate camps. Even though the whole operation's overseen by Kevin Feige, I don't think these two movies are all written that closely together. And there's one third possible theory for Rocket's creator that I want to talk about. But first, thanks to Morning Brew for sponsoring this video. Morning Brew is a free daily newsletter that breaks down everything you need to know about the business world in a quick 5-minute read. Because let's face it, business news is usually pretty dense, dry, boring. Doesn't have to be that way though. Since I began subscribing to Morning Brew, they've delivered the latest business news from Wall Street to Silicon Valley directly to my inbox. And it's written in this witty and conversational tone. I get it now. It makes reading this news actually enjoyable. You can get smarter in just 5 minutes, get all the most relevant updates, and then get on with your day. Join 1 million others who are already in the know and start your day with Morning Brew. Just click on the link in the description below to sign up for free. Okay, back to this third possibility for Rocket's creator. This theory comes from a Reddit post by user Sorrowcron. And really, it's the reason a lot of us are talking about this Rocket mystery again. This user reminded us how one of the bombshell theories for the missing Easter egg in Volume 1 was connected to the coordinates of the various locations that show up throughout the film. All these coordinates have letters and numbers in them, but if you swap out the numbers for the corresponding alphabet letters, you get secret messages pointing to Quill's mother, Meredith Quill. So this Reddit user applied this to the coordinates throughout Volume 2, coming up with a number of codes, depending on whether you group certain letters together. And so far, these codes just seem like random letters, gibberish! But combined together, they do kind of look short enough to be words of a sentence or a phrase. But this Reddit post also brought up another set of Easter eggs from Volume 2. When they escape the Ravager's ship, Rocket flips through a few planets on a tablet screen, and reversing the screen, you can see the first 3 planet names: Dreslar, Hala, that's the Kree planet that we see in Captain Marvel, and Terma. Now, these planets show up in the comic Annihilation Conquest, a crossover event that features Guardians of the Galaxy, Quasar, Moondragon, Adam Warlock, a bunch of others. And the first issue features the Marvel character, the High Evolutionary. So the High Evolutionary is Herbert Wyndham. He's a geneticist who experimented on animals and created the New Men, which was a group of animals that he transformed into these proto-human forms. Not too far away from what Rocket is, even though in the comics he's something very different. Over the course of the Marvel comics, the High Evolutionary runs into the X-Men, Spider-Woman, the Inhumans, a bunch of other characters. He'd actually be a pretty interesting villain for Phase 4. But if James Gunn intended on bringing the High Evolutionary into the Guardians storyline in Volume 3, the High Evolutionary could be a very plausible source of Rocket's cybernetic implants in the cinematic universe. Actually, when watching that part of Volume 2, 2 more planets show up on Rocket's screen. Of course, Ego, their destination, but before that, Terra, aka Earth. And we should also consider the possibility that Rocket came from Earth, back when he could have just been a raccoon before he was enhanced. Perhaps when Rocket and Thor arrived in Wakanda in Infinity War, this wasn't Rocket's first time on this planet. Like, we do see him in that Endgame footage wearing the blue button-up jumpsuit that Rocket wears in the Guardians comics. So maybe this change of clothes was from some past experience on this planet. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna open up the search to you guys. Let us sleuth out the missing Rocket Easter egg together. Rewatch Guardians of Volume 2 with me, and anything new that you come up with, tweet it to New Rockstars with the hashtag Sleuth Squad. Squad goals, sleuth and clues. Comment down below with your thoughts. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Erik Voss, and subscribe to this channel, and subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you happen to live in the LA area, please come out my live nerdy comedy show, Darkest Timeline Comedy, every first Friday of the month at Acme Comedy Theater in North Hollywood. James Gunn, if you're watching this, please come and be a guest. Thanks for watching, and again, our hashtag is Sleuth Squad, and not what my first pick was, Rocket Daddies. It just sounds weird, and I'm not gonna, encourage that phrase, but if it catches on, I guess, hi, I'm Erik Voss is getting a little tired too. Hi, I'm Rocket Daddy.